Diagrams. Ooh. Someone needs to take my account away from me. Hi, my name is Adriana and this is my summer TBR. So we will start with my rollovers from my last TBR. And to be completely transparent, I am filming this on May 21st, so I technically still have 10 days to get through my spring TBR. So I'm gonna just take a moment to insert here any books that I still have to get finished. And you can find more on them in my last TBR video. So before we get into the new books I want to be reading this summer, please consider liking and commenting on this video and subscribing to my channel if you like bookish things. So the first section of my TBR is NetGalley arcs. I am a menace when it comes to NetGalley. Someone needs to take my account away from me. It's bad. As you can guess, I have quite a few arcs that we'll be archiving in the next 3 months, and I would like to at least try to get to them before they are archived. So just like last time, instead of just trying to tell you about the book from my very limited knowledge, because I go into my books completely blind, I'm going to read the first sentence of the book, because that was really fun and it got me really excited for all the books, even though I did not finish all of the books. The first book in my NetGalley list is The Antiquity Affair. It comes out June 6th and archives July 6th. And the first sentence is, "Lantern light glitters against the golden object in my hand." Very descriptive. Very excited. This is another archaeology type book from what I remember. I'm a big fan of archaeology books. I think there are very few that have actually let me down. Like, none are coming to me immediately, so I have a lot riding on this. I love archaeology when used in literature, so it's better not let me down. The next NetGalley arc I have is Starstruck, and I am so excited about this book. It is a memoir from a astrophysicist, astronaut, badass woman. I am pumped. I am pumped. I love a memoir. I love a memoir from a woman in STEM. I love women in STEM. I am so excited about this. It comes out June 6th and also archives June 6th, so I will be getting to this one very soon. The first sentence is, "The universe is not is, it appears." Let's roll that back one more time. The universe is not is, it appears. Okay, I think I'm here now. The first chapter header is the motions of celestial objects, so I imagine we're getting a little bit of a astrophysics lesson, which I desperately need. I am not an astrophysics girly, so definitely excited to learn more about this subject of science. I am excited to learn more about this incredible woman's life and her story. I'm just incredibly excited about this book, and I am so happy that I got approved to read this. So the next book is Clytemnestra's Bind, more Greek mythology nonsense, which we all know I love. This is another Clytemnestra retelling, as you can guess from the title, which I am starting to learn I can really love when it is done well. So we'll see how well this one is done for me. It comes out June 15th and archives June 14th, so this is another one I will be getting to very soon. But the first line of this one is, "Sometimes I hear murdered children in the corridors of the palace." So it sounds like this one might be starting later in Clytemnestra's life. I don't know. It seems like it's a pretty short book, so we might be kind of narrowing in on adult Clytemnestra rather than going all the way back to childhood like a couple of the other ones I've read. I don't know. We'll have to see. Very interesting. Again, very excited. I'm always down for more Greek mythology nonsense. The next book on the list is Lilith. It comes out October 17th, but archives August 22nd, my birthday. So I will be getting to it over this summer period. It is a retelling of biblical mythology, I guess. The story of Lilith. I don't know much about like kind of biblical lore or mythology kind of stuff. Most of it I learned from like The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina the Teenage Witch on Netflix. So we'll see how I vibe with this one. But I'm excited to check it out. The first line, part 1, Paradise, 4004 BC. Oh, this is like a quote from the Bible. This is like Genesis. But we'll get to the first actual part of the book. So in the beginning, at first, I loved him. Okay. Like, I'm not a huge biblical mythology person, but I love a scorned woman trope. So I feel like I'm already starting off on a pretty good foot with this one, and I hope I love it. The last NetGalley arc I want to get to in the summer months is Psyche and Eros. Again, Greek mythology nonsense. It is going to be published June 13th, but does not archive until August 8th, so I have a little bit more time on this one. The story of Psyche and Eros is one I think is retold quite a bit in like kind of the Greek mythology retelling world, but I don't think I've read any Psyche and Eros retellings besides my little middle grade retelling books, my Mythomania books. So Nice Shot Cupid is the only Psyche and Eros retelling I have read. So I imagine this is probably going to be a little bit different because I think it is a full novel and is geared towards adults. But it starts off with a prologue from the view of Eros, or Cupid, or however you want to call him. The Greeks have 3 words for love. So I imagine this is going to be a very love-centric story. Psyche and Eros is a love story, a fairly twisted love story, so I don't know where this retelling is going to take it, if we're going to stick with kind of the twistedness, if we're going to try to make it less twisted. I don't know. I don't know what we're going to do, but I am excited. I think it'll be a good time. Love stories. That was my last NetGalley arc that I wanted to get to. So now we are getting into my physical TBR that I want to try to tackle in the summer months. It is a little bit shorter than I think my last TBR, but that's mostly because I still have books from the last TBR I need to catch up with, and I have a lot of NetGalley arcs I need to make sure I hit. I want to be a little bit conservative with my physical TBR just to make sure that I can meet some goals. So one I definitely want to tackle is the next one in my Sigma Force reread. The next one I have on my list is The Doomsday Key. My dad has my paperback copy, so Dad, I know you are watching because you watch all of my videos. I would please like it back at some point this summer so I can read it in paperback because I don't like reading hardback. But for the purposes of this video, showing you and reading the first line, we will be looking at the hardback copy I have. So these books always start with like a prologue to set up like the historical mystery, and then like the actual current timeline starts later. Yeah, so see, this prologue starts in spring of 1086 in England, and then the actual story is just October 6th or October 9th, and is not really given a full year because I think it's just supposed to be contemporary time, but I'll read both the first lines. The first line of the prologue is "The ravens were the first sign," and the first line of the actual story, book, whatever, is "Gunfire woke Jason Gorman from a bone deep sleep." Love both of those. I am obsessed with these Sigma Force novels, and I am so excited to tackle another one. It's gonna be a good time. The next book on my list is a very anticipated new release for this year, and I think an anticipated new release for many, many people, and that is Yellowface by R.F. Kuang. I have loved everything I've read from R.F. Kuang up until this point. Poppy War, Babel, great. I am really interested to see how I vibe with a not fantasy from her. I mean, I assume I'll love it. She is a true prodigy, like just a young genius when it comes to writing novels. So I'm sure I'm gonna love it, but I am a little hesitant, which I've always been a little hesitant with R.F. Kuang's works. Both the Poppy War trilogy and Babel, I wasn't super intrigued by the premise, but just kind of read it based on hype. This one, I know the premise, but I'm just not going to let that affect my preconceived notions of the book because I know every time I tried to make a judgment based off the premise, I am wrong. I'm going to just go into this with neutral expectations and see what happens. And the first line is, "The night I watch Athena Liu die, we're celebrating her TV deal with Netflix." Ooh, ooh. Okay, we start off strong. I am so excited for this one. It's just gonna be a great time. The next book on my list is not really a TBR veteran. I don't think I've ever actually put it on a TBR before, but I have owned it for a long time, and that is Puppy Show by Leon Ross. I got this in a subscription box from Powell's bookstore back when they were still doing a subscription box, and I think they were just doing it to get rid of arcs. You know, I wasn't exactly paying for this arc because it just came with the box for free. But anyway, this is one that has been on my bookshelf forever and I would really like to get to it. It's a little intimidating. I think it's going to be a little kind of artsy and a little outside my comfort zone, but I really love the cover. So, you know, cover buy. Except I didn't buy it. So the first line is, "On the first anniversary of his wife's death, Xavier Red Shoes got up before light and went downstairs to salt the cod." Again, I don't really remember what this book is about or what's going on, but that is a fairly intriguing first line. We got a widower. He's salting some cod. We'll see. The next book on my list, I won an Instagram giveaway, which we love winning giveaways. It makes me feel so special. But that is Once Upon a Prime by Sarah Hart, the wondrous connections between mathematics and literature. As someone who's interested in both of those things, like obviously I run a booktube channel. I love literature. I have a minor in mathematics from college. I'm not very good at math, but I have a very large interest in abstract math. So I'm very interested to see kind of what the connections are that they will be making in this book. I think it's a very intriguing premise for a nonfiction book. So the first sentence of this one, "Call me Ishmael." This has to be one of the most famous opening sentences in literature. I think it is. I think most people know the first line to Moby Dick. I've never read Moby Dick, but the only reason I know this first line is back in high school when I was doing, oh shoot, what was that called? Knowledge Bowl. It was basically like team trivia. A question we got asked repeatedly was, what is the first line of Moby Dick? Or "Call me Ishmael" is the first line of what novel? That doesn't give me a whole lot about how math is tying in, but I at least know we got literature going. So it's also fairly short, so it should be kind of a fun, interesting little read. We'll see. And finally, the last book on this list, I am probably the most excited for because I just love it so much. But that is the newest Sigma Force novel by James Rowlands that will be coming out August 23rd? August of 23. What day does it actually come out? Okay, this is saying August 1st. So this is the 16th or 17th installment of the Sigma Force series. I am so happy that William Morrow gifted me another arc of the Sigma Force series. I love this series with my whole heart, and I'm just so excited to be able to help stir up some hype for this book, for this series. I will definitely be doing a full vlog on my reading experience of it. I have yet to read up on the premise or anything of this. I really just want to go in blind and just know nothing and just throw myself into the story, but I will read the first sentence of the prologue and the first sentence of the main story right here for you. Oh my gosh, it's starting off with so many maps and diagrams. Ooh. We got a cast a character. Interesting. This is a little different than I normally see. Okay, so for the prologue, April 11th, 1815, off the coast of Sumbawa, the Dutch East Indies. From the bow of the HMS Tenebrae, Commander Leyland Macklin stared into the fiery mouth of hell. Ooh. That's an opener. So let's get to the main story. January 18th, 10:04 a.m. NCT, 300 miles off Norfolk Island, Australia. Phoebe Reed stared out in awe at the sunken Garden of Eden. Oh my gosh, so we have hell in the prologue, Garden of Eden, and the main story. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited! I can't contain how happy it makes me that this channel, this whole YouTube thing, has given me the ability to get early access to my absolute favorite series, and I'm just tickled pink to be able to experience this book. So with that, those are all of the books I want to try to hit in the summer months. Please let me know if you have read any of these and what your thoughts were. Although, to be honest, a lot of these are either very new releases or haven't come out yet. So I would be a little surprised if anybody had read these yet. But anyway, let me know what your thoughts are on any of these books. And thanks so much for watching, and I will catch you on the next video.